Second shooting isn't just about taking photos, it's about making the main photographer's life a little bit easier and also learning how to adapt to their style. In this video, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to make sure that you're the best second shooter possible and ensure that everyone wants to work with you again. Welcome back to the channel, my name's Tom, I'm a wedding photographer based in the UK. On this channel, we explore strategies and tools to help you grow your wedding photography business and lead a happy, fulfilling life. Now this video is going to apply to people who are new to the industry and also to people who are years into the industry as well. Second shooting is a really good way to get your foot in the door of the wedding industry if you're new to it and also build a portfolio. So we'll go through that as well as different tips on how to be an even better second shooter if it's your first time or even if you have lots of experience second shooting in the past. Second shooting is all about complementing the main photographer, and you can do this from the offset by setting expectations on both sides. It's always a good idea to first work out what the other photographer wants you to cover. It's quite normal for a main shooter to give you a timeline of the entire day and exactly what it is that they want you to cover, but if they don't do that, make sure you communicate with them beforehand and check what they want you to cover. So for example, in the morning, if it's a bride and groom, most of the time the second shooter will cover groom prep in the morning whilst the main photographer covers bridal prep. But if you're not doing morning coverage, maybe they'll want you to capture details when the ceremony room is getting set up or the venue is getting set up. Maybe they want you to capture the small details so they don't have to do that later. Just communicate with them beforehand. What do they want being shot and how do they want you to shoot it? Do they want you to complement their shots? So for example, if they're shooting down the aisle, maybe you want to stand at the front of the aisle so that you're getting a different angle of everything going on. Generally, the main photographer has most of the main shots covered, so as a second photographer, it's your job to cover everything else, so guest reactions, maybe sometimes more creative shots. If you're unsure, just check with your main photographer throughout the day, and once you've done a lot of second shooting jobs and possibly even worked with the same people, it'll be second nature just knowing what to shoot and when. You also want to make sure that you know how the files are getting delivered, so most of the time when someone is second shooting for me, I will give them one of my SD cards to put in their camera, and they will use one of their SD cards to put in the other slot of their camera. If you're second shooting, you always want to be shooting with a camera that has 2 SD card slots. Never ever go to a wedding with a camera with only 1 SD card shooting. If you lose those photos or if they're corrupted, it not only looks awful for the main photographer, but you've also lost half of the couple's wedding photos. So it's not worth the risk. Always shoot with a camera with 2 SD cards. Now, if the main photographer doesn't give you an SD card to shoot on, then you might be working with your own SD cards, in which case you may have time to back them up at the end of the day to a hard drive that hopefully the main photographer's brought along. But if not, the other 2 options are giving them your SD card and having them post it back to you after they've copied over all the files. Or alternatively, you can upload them to something like Dropbox or WeTransfer. Lastly, just double check dress code because you don't want to turn up dressed in something completely different or inappropriate. For my weddings, I always go smart casual, so I don't really mind what the second photographer wears as long as it's not like a t-shirt and shorts or something, just something a bit more formal. Some photographers only wear all black to weddings, so just make sure that you're wearing the right thing so you don't turn up and it looks quite unprofessional. Next, you'll want to work out the main photographer's approach to shooting and editing style, tone, shooting style, everything like that, so that you can shoot in the same way and complement the gallery. Your photos are going to become part of their portfolio, as well as yours hopefully, so make sure you're complementing their style. To make this easier for yourself, you can prepare by, say, the night before, typing into ChatGPT or any AI tool, how do I shoot like, and then name the photographer. The AI will search for all their photos, their images, everything they've posted online, and give you a breakdown of how to shoot exactly like them. This is a really useful way of impressing your main photographer, because you'll instantly blend in with their style. Hopefully they will have chosen you to second shoot for them as well because you shoot in a similar style to them anyway. But if you don't, or if you're unsure, just make sure that you're prepared and you know how they shoot going into the wedding day. So on the wedding day, you'll want to arrive early and introduce yourself to the main photographer if you haven't met already. Be proactive but unobtrusive. You're not there to impress the couple or guests, you're there to be as professional as possible and make the main photographer look even better. You're there to blend in seamlessly, not get work for yourself. And that takes me on to a really important point actually. Don't bring your business cards. You are not there to promote your services. Never ever do that. It looks extremely unprofessional, and if the main photographer finds out, it's not a good look for you, so don't do it. If someone asks who you are, say you're shooting for, and then the person's name who is the main shooter. Never give out your business name. You are there working as a freelancer for someone else, nothing more. You are not there to gain any business whatsoever. You are being paid to do a job and leave at the end of the day, and that is it. Now, this is one of my best tips that I can give you. The first photo you want to take is of a website called time.is. Time.is is just a website that shows the current time. Hopefully you can see that. That is the current time right now. If you take a photo of that on both of your cameras, what that means is the main photographer can sync up their camera with yours. So in the final gallery, all of the photos will be in chronological order, no matter who they were taken by. And yeah, just get your main photographer to take a photo of that as well, so that they can sync up all 4 cameras or more seamlessly later on. That's a really easy way of being proactive and impressing the main photographer. Your next job, and one of your main jobs throughout the entire day, is to anticipate the main photographer's needs at all points throughout the day. So will they need anything? Batteries, for example, always good to keep one on your person or in your pocket or a bag somewhere close by so that you can hand over a battery if they're in need of one. Will they need to swap out lenses? So just think about what lenses they're using and use something else to complement it. Always keep an eye on them, look at what they're looking at, what they're shooting, and shoot something else, a different angle, a different focal length, anything, so that you can get a different shot, because there is no point in getting, say, a 35mm shot right next to the main photographer looking down the aisle. It's just the same shot. Always look to complement whatever the main photographer is doing. And also think about guests. Do they need managing? Do they need lining up for their family photos or group photos? That can be your job. It takes something off of the main photographer's shoulders whilst they're shooting. You can be helping to move people along and keep everything moving in a timely fashion. Whilst you're doing this as well, you can always be keeping a lookout for the small details. So decor, reactions, and behind the scenes. Anything to add storytelling depth. Professional etiquette is also something that's obviously extremely important. So things like never stepping into the photographer's frame. Don't step across their camera. That's quite an obvious one. Also, never direct the couple unless you're directly asked. You can maybe whisper in the photographer's ear if you have an idea or something, but never make it look like you're leading the shoot. The main photographer is the main photographer for a reason. They are there to lead the shoot, not you. Generally, this isn't something you need to ask beforehand. It's very rare that a main photographer will want you to direct the couple, unless you've been asked to. And that takes me on to the question that so many people have asked me when shooting for me, and they've been relatively new, is can they post photos from the wedding? Now, general rule of thumb is never ever post anything until the main gallery has been delivered, so the full gallery. Now for me that takes around 6 to 8 weeks, but check with your photographer on the rules either at the wedding or beforehand. They'll probably tell you beforehand, but if not, check with them on the day. What are your rules about posting photos to social media? I find 9 times out of 10 when working for other people, they will tell me to hold off posting until the full gallery has been delivered, and also don't tag the couple or the venue. Don't tag anyone. The main reason for that is, again, it comes back to not getting any business for yourself. This is their wedding. This is the main photographer's wedding, not yours. They are the ones who are gaining business from that wedding. I imagine it's usually fine to use the images for your portfolio. After all, you took them. They are your images. But they should only be used to flesh out your portfolio, not gain any business from the wedding. So there is no need to tag anyone, especially the venue. Some people might be more lax on this rule, and that's fine. But yeah, most people I found, and myself included, ask the second shooter not to tag anyone, but feel free to use them for your portfolio. Another reason that photographers ask you not to tag the couple or the venue is if the couple somehow come across these photos, for example, because you've tagged them in it, and they see a picture that isn't in the main gallery, or they see a photo that has been edited differently, they might ask the main photographer to do it this way, or where is this photo? And that's really annoying because the main photographer has curated the best gallery that they think should be sent to the couple. They don't want to be hounded for more images after. You also don't want people coming to you wanting to book you after the wedding, because again, you didn't book that wedding yourself, you are just the second photographer. Lastly, under etiquette, you want to remain extremely calm under pressure. You don't want to add stress to an already stressful day. If they start to look stressed, you need to quickly adapt to the situation, realize what's going on and try and take pressure off their shoulders as quickly as possible. What do they need? Just figure that out. Be proactive the entire day. After the wedding, you might want to have a little debrief with the main photographer to check what went well and what didn't. Always thank them for the opportunity as well after. It's just always good to build a strong, healthy working relationship with everyone that you work with in the industry. It'll also make them want to work with you more again next time. Great second shooters make themselves indispensable through awareness, respect, and initiative. Aspiring photographers should always see second shooting as a great way to learn, especially from really experienced photographers, as well as a professional stepping stone. I hope this video has been helpful, and as always, see you guys in the next one.